Magandang hapon po mga kababayan, kayo po ay nanonood ng kauna-unahan at kaisa-isang locally produced daily show na tungkol at para sa ating mga Pilipino kung saan ngayong hapon, nako, it's all girl talk. We're gonna have a kababayan who started her own makeup company and we're gonna talk to her later, and also she's gonna do a little bit of a demo for us. Abangan niyo po yan ngayong hapon sa ating programa. But for now, you know, every Friday we talk to different authors about their different books, and today is no different, of course. This is a book that's actually, I loved reading. I enjoyed reading this, and this is something that's very controversial these days, especially a season of wedding. Last one down the aisle wins, and we have the authors here with us, fabulous and very, very happy. Celeste Liversidge, hello, and welcome to Kababayan
Thank you so much, Janelle.
And relationship expert Shannon Fox, magandang hapon sa'yo. Good afternoon.
Thank you.
All right, let's talk about this book. Celeste, you're a divorce lawyer.
Yes.
How is that insight helping you? How did that insight help you in writing this book?
Well, for the past 15 years, Shannon has been working as a marriage and family therapist. I've been working as a divorce attorney. And we've been listening to women who are in crisis, in relationship crisis, women whose relationships they're struggling to save them in Shannon's office, or they're fallen apart, and they've turned to the legal system in my office. And we've been hearing these women's stories. And as we listen to these stories over these many years, we often heard them say, I got married too young. If I had waited, I would have chosen differently. I changed so much in my 20s, and I would have been a different person. I would have chosen a different man.
Right. See, you know what? The thing is, you know, everybody wants to get married. I think for us women, we were raised with that progression in mind. You know, you go to school, you get a career, and then you get married. And it seems to many of us it's the end-all and be-all of things. But it's not the case, because then you see marriages fall apart. But still, even if we are aware of marriages falling apart, still there's aisle envy. Still there's pressure to get married, Shannon.
Right. Well, there's pressure from inside, because maybe we had expectations growing up, and when we all played bride, you know, if we didn't have the veil, we put toilet paper on our heads, and we had a veil going down, and you know, we were the bride from a very young age. We've played that, and every fairy tale ends with a wedding and the kiss. And so, unfortunately, women sometimes think my life will start after I walk down the aisle.
Exactly.
Yes, and that is absolutely not true. And the whole message of our book is your life starts now. Your 20s are a great time. Don't fritter them away. Don't think you have to wait until you get married to live your life.
And see, the thing is, you mentioned earlier, pressure comes from within. Sometimes also pressure comes from outside factors. Like in most Asian cultures, especially, Asians tend to marry at a younger age because, you know, that's, you know, you're raised to be a wife, basically. And that's something that you try to dispel in the book, right?
Well, we want women to marry for the right reasons. And so whether it's marrying for cultural pressure reasons, or marrying because you want the big party, or marrying because you're afraid that you're not going to be able to have kids. We identify the 10 wrong reasons, the top 10 wrong reasons that women marry too young in the book. That's how we start the book. And that's one of them. So we tell women, whether it's cultural pressure or any of these other wrong reasons, we want to encourage them and empower them to kind of stand strong against those pressures.
And one of the reasons also people marry young is, you know, this term called infatuation. You can't, it's such a tricky thing that you don't know if you're just really infatuated or you really love the person to the point of commitment. Shannon, what are your thoughts on that?
Right, and when you're young, you think, you know, I've never felt this way before.
Exactly.
This is amazing.
Yeah. Butterflies in the stomach.
Absolutely, absolutely. And more power to you. We want you to have butterflies in your stomach when you're walking down the aisle toward your husband. We've both been married 11 years. I still get butterflies about my husband.
Wow.
You know, love is a very important part of marriage, but it's not the only thing in
it's
marriage.
not enough.
No, it's not. And those feelings, the sort of love drugs, as we call them, they wear off after a while.
And that's why I read as one tip in the book, you have to wait a while, even if you're so in love, you think you're, right?
Right, and really, we're on our very best behavior when we're dating for at least the first 18 months. We found that people can put their best foot forward. So
for 18 months?
Yeah,
wow, that's a long time to put on an act.
We're good, aren't we? Yeah, we're good. But so we are encouraging, you know, when specifically on that topic, give your relationship a while to, you know, to get beyond that 18-month period. But really, for putting the relationship aside, we're wanting women to focus on themselves, because if they're at the place in these 10 key areas that we've identified, a good relationship and a good marriage is going to follow.
All right, we've been talking about the keys. Let's take a look at some of the keys, and let's discuss it. We're not going to discuss everything because you have to buy the book and read it, of course. The first key is get a connected with life, invest in friendships. Shannon.
Girlfriends are really important. Girlfriends will end up writing a book with you 18 years later. But girlfriends really help you. They help you know when you're dating a bad guy. They help you know. And those are friendships that you have time to invest in your 20s. Those are the friendships that will get you through tough times in your life later. They are the friends that you will change diapers with and go to the park with and things like that. So they're really, your girlfriends are important.
So friendships and then family relationships.
Family relationships are so important, and sometimes we think, oh, well, my family has nothing to do with my marriage, because that's a whole different set of relationships. Absolutely not. Our relationships with our family, and especially our parents, very much set the stage for every other relationship in your life, especially your marriage relationship, because that's what was modeled for you. So we want women to take time in their 20s to look back on their childhood and on their relationships and what was modeled for them, and work through those things. Are there things that you need to not model, to not repeat in your own marriage? Maybe there are some things that you want to bring into your own marriage, but very often there are things that you need to work through and look at the why of what happened in those relationships.
And I like this key number 3, ladies. It's okay. You can have a career. You can actually work on working and not just work on getting married. Shannon, let's explain this.
That's right. And our whole focus really is on having a great marriage later. So we're not saying forego marriage, forget about marriage, hard charge on your career. What we're saying is your career is an important part of becoming who you are and figuring out what you're passionate about, what your purpose in life is, what you love to do. And if you choose to continue working after you get married, that's great. You've got a career. And if you choose not to, what great experiences you have to share with your children. You have a separate identity that you know what you're passionate about later on as a wife and a mother.
I am liking the tips, and if you want more, you have to get a copy of the book. Where is it available at? Is it available on Amazon?
Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, local bookseller.
And speaking of Barnes & Noble, you have a signing a few hours from now.
Yes. Tonight at the Grove in Los Angeles.
Yeah, and we have all the information on the screen for you. That's tonight, Barnes & Noble at the Grove in Los Angeles, 7 p.m. Are you going to have reading as well, or just...
Yeah, we're going to do just a little bit of lively discussion, and we're also having an Ugliest Bridesmaid costume award.
Wow.
So if you wear your
come in costume.
Anyway, if you've ever had to suffer through a wedding of somebody else in an ugly bridesmaid dress, this is your chance to actually win a bottle of champagne if you wear the dress.
And make something beautiful out of it.
Right.
Yes. So you got to come out and meet these wonderful women, very empowered, very knowledgeable. Thank you for sharing your expertise.
Thank you so much, Janelle.
And we hope to have you back.
Thank you.
The second book, maybe.
Yes, that's right.
All right, we will be back for more on Kababayan LA. Don't go away.